Mm.
Good morning, parents. Karibuni sana. So glad to have you here on a Saturday morning when you are supposed to be resting. We're here talking about girls. But I'm so glad to have you here. Please let me know if you can hear me from the chat box. Let me know if I am audible. Parents, can you hear me? Please let me know from the chat box. I'm not so sure if you can. A very good morning to you, parents. I'm just seeking. Okay, Carrie, you're giving me a thumbs up. To mean you can hear me, right? I don't want to assume. Please, someone, if you're able to text, please put in the chat box because I don't want to keep you for long. Just someone write something so that I know we are on the same page. You might be seeing me, but can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry, I'm told you can't comment. Oh no. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that, parent. I really appreciate. Yeah, the person who has texted me as it's a private message. Oh, Just give me a minute. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, the parent using EU device is mentioning that you can comment on chat function. Please check it out because I honestly don't know what's happening. So please check the chat function. That's where, oh, you can only comment directly to me. Okay. I think we just move on because I don't want to keep you for long. I'll be checking my messages. I would have loved to see you in a group messages, but well, yesterday it was functioning well. Today I can't explain, but it's fine. It's technology, right? So we move on. Karibuni sana parents. Thank you so much for being here this Saturday. Now, for some of you who have followed me long enough, you know I prepare a program and I update parents about webinars that you're having in advance so that you can prepare. But this one was kind of an impromptu. All my programs, I do them at night because that's when parents are more settled and they are available, and I do them at 8 p.m. Today on a Saturday, 9 a.m., we're here talking about girls. We are 35 of us. Other times I have around 300, 100 on Zoom and 200 on YouTube. But it's fine. It's out of a need. It's really out of a need that I had to do this program. My name is Brenda Karimi for them that might be new, and I am so passionate about girls. I want to help girls overcome common life challenges or um, yeah, common life challenges that face adolescent girls and help them maximize their potential. To mean, there's some issues girls face or mistakes that girls make that they don't know they are mistakes and they don't know how else they would have done it. And that is where I'm here for them. But also, I have worked with over 10,000 girls. And that statistics actually, I did last year, but one I need to compile because I know we are more than 10,000 right now. And I have an experience with girls. There is definitely something I know about girls that you may not know. Not because you are not a good parent, but because I've interacted with so many girls and there is a pattern that I have identified in their reasoning, in their perception, in the interpretation of circumstances, or rather how they communicate, that I would love as many parents to know, because it's not chaotic outside as people try, to make it feel or to make it look. It's not that dramatic. And our safe landing space as parent is that they are just teenagers. They will overcome it. They'll get over it. I mean, let's leave them. It's just an adolescent, it's just a stage. All right. But I'm here to say that sometimes it's not about a stage. Sometimes it's because we are dealing with real human beings. All right. And now, before we even continue, I'll want you to do me a favor. I mentioned that your daughter is not an island. She isn't. The reason as why you are here is because there's something I want you to know about bullying that will open your eyes in terms of how you deal with your daughter and how you support her. Now you can imagine supporting your daughter so well, having very rich conversation with your daughter, but her friends, they are coming from an environment, a place where they don't know how they can talk to their parents. Then what that means is your daughter will be so empowered, but she will be with girls and friends who are not empowered. So when she's thinking about positivity, when she's thinking about, no, mommy said that I need to think like this, she's surrounded by five other girls who don't have that information. And so I want to give you like a minute. You go to our group or wherever you got the link from and share that link in your church WhatsApp group, in your school WhatsApp group, in your estate WhatsApp group. I mean, wherever you know that your daughter hangs out, let's have this parent on board. Let them get to know what we are talking about. Your daughter is not an island. And I say this is not a conversation to hide. This is not a conversation to say, no, I'm not going to invite so and so. This is, my only, it's mine. Because if your daughter is empowered, she knows what she's supposed to do, but others don't know, it's going to be tough for her. It will be very, very difficult for her. And so we are building up our daughters plus their girlfriends. All right. And in our fearless girl class that is beginning next week on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at night, I got two parents who actually paid for their daughter and their friends. No, like I'm bringing my daughter plus my friend, and they are the ones who are paying for them. And that's such an incredible way of looking at life because you want your girl to have a safe landing space. You want your girl to be safe when having conversation, so that if we say bullying is wrong, your daughter knows it and her friends. When you talk about how to stop bullying, your daughter's friends can actually stop someone who is bullying your daughter. All right. So it's not a kind of a one-man show, or it's a skit for you and your family and your girl only. Let's bring them on board. Have you done that? Have you shared it? Please share. It's for your good, but also for the good of the entire community. Very good. So why are we having conversation about bullying? I mentioned that I'm not going to have PowerPoint. I mentioned that I don't have notes, like um pointers for you. Why? Because I want to share from my heart. I want to share what is in my heart, what I have seen. It's not researched. It's not something that I've kind of like planned for you. No, absolutely no. I shared something on Facebook yesterday night because I was having a conversation with one of you last night when she was telling me that her daughter, she found a note that her daughter had written, and she said that my mom loves my brother more than me and she feels so sad about it, and she was saying that I wish my dad was around because dad used to use dad loved me so much, and dad didn't show partiality. Unfortunately, the dad passed on, and so the girl was just expressing, and now the parent was so frustrated, uh, because according to the parent, she has treated them all equally, and we had a lengthy conversation, and I was telling her, sometimes telling your daughter I love you doesn't make sense. And you know where they get, I mom hates me. For example, she's in the sitting room, with a teddy bear or having breakfast, and she's on TV, watching TV, a series or a movie. And she has finished and now she's just there. She has not spread her bed. You had asked her to clear the dining table and also clean the dishes, all right? So now you have been doing your activities and you realize she hasn't done anything, and you're like, hey, um, Amala, I mean, go clear the dining table, stop watching, switch off the TV, go do the dishes. Now, she can hear that and interpret it totally different. She may hear things like, I don't love you and I don't want you to have fun, and I go and wash utensils. That's a punishment. That is what she has interpreted. She has heard what you've said, but she has interpreted it wrongly. That is why she will slam the door. She will just, sway in the house. She'll become moody. She'll become, not because she doesn't want to clear the dining table, but because what you have said, she has interpreted it like it's a form of punishment, and you don't love her. Now, that's enough reason for the girl to say that you don't love her. Yet, her brother, who is 3 years old, is watching cartoon. Your daughter is 14 years old. So because you have allowed the brother who is 3 years old to watch cartoon, and for her, she has to go and do, dishes. For her, that's hate. You hate her. And so really, I was telling this parent, you may not have done anything negative. Again, the way you deal with that 3 year old is totally different from how you deal with a 13, 10 year old, right? Definitely, yes. And you'll give a 3 year old more attention than a 14-year-old girl, right? Yes. But then, how do they interpret? Parents, sometimes it's not about you. Because sometimes you take the burden so heavily, you feel like you have not taught her well. You feel like you're a bad parent. But really, it's not about you all the time. No, sometimes it's the influences around them. And honestly speaking, where does your daughter spend most of the time? Either in school or if at home, sleeping. For example, she sleeps for 8 hours, so you're not interacting with her. Maybe 10 hours in school, in class, and other with friends and church and, other gathering. So if you look at it like that, you actually spend very kidogo time with your child. To mean you are not the only person who is influencing her. You are not. And the moment that sinks, you will treat her more graciously, because then her mindset is different. Probably from the school she has heard that, doing house chores from other girls, it's a form of punishment. For example, they have, let's say, three house helps to support in various activities. And so this one girl, when the mom wanted to punish her for being on phone, she was asked to go and load the laundry, and do the laundry for herself. For her, that's punishment. For you as a parent, you are teaching your daughter responsibility. So you can imagine when your daughter having that conversation. This other girl says she was punished by being told to go and do her laundry. This other one, she's being told, I'm teaching you responsibility. Can you see how our girls get sometimes information from different setups, from different environments, and now they are together, all of them. You get the point? Yes. So it's very important for you to understand that you are not the only influence, that you are not the only person who commands attention in the lives of your children. The sad bit is when they get into teenage, they prefer being with their friends, or rather they prefer hearing advice from their friends than parents, scientifically proven. So you may tell her to do something and the friends tell her to do something else, and the friends, they will listen to what the friends said. And that is why I said bring their parents. If you're seeing the Fearless Girl program that you are running, please share it with your friends. If you're able to pay for her friends, let them. Like there's a group of parents from Imara who I'm working with their daughters. They are 6 of them. So they came together, got the money. Brenda worked with our daughters for 1 year, all of them. So they are building a community of empowered girls, such that when it comes to a point where they need to talk about their boyfriends, their crushes, they are sharing it within an environment that is safe. Because trust you me, it gets to a point and they lock up, like they don't tell you what their secret, but they'll tell their friends. What happens when their friends are empowered? They say, no, we said you're getting a relationship when we get to 23. We are now a 17. And so they're keeping each other on check and accountable. To the people in the waiting room. Sorry, today I'm all alone. My assistant had some other engagement, and so bear with me. Yeah, so I can see a good number of you parents have joined. Now let's talk about bullying. Parents, we cannot underestimate what bullying does in the lives of our children. If you followed me enough, we say that telling your daughter, trust me, telling your daughter, believe in me, sometimes doesn't make sense. Telling your daughter, please, parents, for them that have joined, I'm not so sure what happened with my Zoom overnight. I'm told you can't comment, but you can comment privately. I'll be able to see and I will respond if you have a question. I don't know what is happening with my group. with my group chats. Oh, now I've lost it all. Yeah, so feel free to send it to my inbox. Bullying has changed its face. In our times, or in our times here, bullying was bullying was a bit more physical. I hear it happens in boys' school, but it was a bit physical in terms of pushing, in terms of hitting, in terms of fighting, but not anymore. Bullying has changed its face. Bullying has changed the way it is. It masquerades like I'm supporting you, I am just making fun. It's just for fun. And sometimes it's hidden. And so you as a parent, you don't know, you as your daughter doesn't know, because what does your daughter know? She knows that bullying is hitting, is shouting, is, those things that are so obvious. However, that's not the case. And the reason why we are saying I'm teaching you about bullying is because sometimes as a coach, even if you bring your daughter in my class, I may not able to see those drastic changes and behaviors. And there are parents who complain that my daughter will be okay outside with other people, but when she gets in the house, she's, moody, she's violent, or she's loud, she's shouting, and she doesn't treat her siblings with kindness. And, you are left wondering what's wrong with my daughter. It is because home is the safest space she can express herself. Home is a place where she know no one will hurt me. But when she's outside, she chickens out, she's quiet because she has been bullied. So sometimes when she comes and explodes and gets in that space, you feel like you are a bit harsh to your siblings, is because home is a safe space. Because home, she feels she has power, she has authority, she can speak, she can shout, but not outside. All right. And even as we're having this conversation, parents, this is something I would want you to get out of this place with. Please, your child, your 8, 9, 10, 15-year old daughter, he's a human being. He's a complete human being, not fully developed. Complete to mean she has emotions, she has brain, she has feelings, she can, she can see, she can speak, she can express herself. However she's doing it, that's another thing. But she's a complete human being. If you're having your friends, when you go to chama, when you go to church or at work, there is a way this person doesn't like being ambushed. This person, you can't just storm into her office. You need to book a meeting. This person, you can make fun of her and she's okay. This person is jovial. So at workplace and in normal setups, we look at people like that, right? Like this one doesn't like. But then when it comes to our children, we want them to be in a specific way. It's like we don't expect them to have a feeling. We don't expect them to express themselves. We don't expect them to give contradicting opinion. Now it becomes even heavy if you have a very strong opinionated child, which is not wrong. This is a child who will tell mommy, I don't want to do that now. I will do it later. Now, the interpretation also applies to you parents. When she says that, you start wondering, why are you becoming disrespectful? I am your mother. I am your father. You need to listen to me. And then you start imagining how you are brought up. In our times, we used to obey. In our times, we couldn't raise our voices to our parents. In our times, we couldn't do this. Your time was 1985. We are in 2025. How many generations in between? Two of them. Totally different. And we cannot ignore. And I totally respect parents who say no. Watoto ni watoto. The way we were brought up is the way I'm bringing up my child. If it's working for you, well and good. But it doesn't work for many girls. It doesn't. They suffer, they cry, and they shut down. So then, interpretation is two-way. Two-way to mean you can also misinterpret your child. You can also think that your child is not understanding you. Now, when it comes to bullying, it is subtle. It is low, and you need to observe and you need to teach your daughter. And what I'm going to do today, or what I'm doing, is I want you to be very keen in terms of how you can have conversations about bullying. Now, I have mentioned that kids, our children, know that bullying is loud and it's very, very aggressive. But you need to tell them that also bullying can be soft, can be emotional, can be verbal, can be social. You can also tell them that when you are excluded, consistently being excluded from being in a group, that can be bullying. All right. You need to tell them if someone is consistently making fun of you, of your body, of your actions, of your results, of how you smile, that is bullying. Because you see, also our daughters don't know. They will think that the teacher made a joke. There's a class I had last year, and this 15-year-old girl, we were talking actually about bullying in class. And I was telling them what bullying is because knowledge is very powerful. If your daughter knows what bullying is, she will report it. But if she doesn't know, she won't. So this girl, I was teaching about bullying and all forms of bullying. And so this girl, she started tearing up in a class, in a Zoom class. So she was just quiet and tearing up. And then when she realized I've noticed, she switched off her video. And then I went to her inbox, hey, what's up? And she took some time before she responded. Of course, I went on with class. But then she said something that really struck me. She said, these are 14, 15, around 14, 15. She said, I've just realized that the first person who ever bullied me was my dad. Yeah. And I was like, please tell me more. What happened? So she said, when I was growing up, I was a chubby kid, and my dad kept on making fun of my body. Like I was big, I will not find clothes to put on if I continue eating a lot. I will not. And she said that I know that didn't mean bad. Because she was making fun, and him and my big brother would laugh and then take me and throw me up, and like in the air, the way you can do for a kid. I think she was 9 or 8 thereabout. And then, but she said, when you have talked about bullying, I have now understood why I keep on wearing baggy clothes. I keep on wearing baggy t-shirt and baggy sweatpants because I don't want people to see my body. That's a girl who is saying that the first person who ever bullied her was her dad. Sad bit. Was the dad intentional? Definitely no. It was a matter of we're just talking, the way you can try to be silly in the house. It's a fun environment. But for her, the dad was very, very consistent. So then you need to teach your daughter that bullying is just one, it's not one off, because people make mistakes, or people throw a mean comment, but bullying is consistent. So your daughter, help her to understand that if it's coming from one person consistently, they are making you feel uncomfortable because of what they are saying, then that is bullying. They are commenting on your body, or they are giving you nicknames in class. They might sound cool nicknames, but there is a reason why they're giving you that nickname. As long as it is not settling well with you, that is bullying. All right. You also need to talk to them about exclusion as a form of bullying, and it is a lot. Parent friendship means a lot to your daughters, a lot more than you can imagine. So when you tell your daughter, don't go to hang out with your friends, don't do this, she's thinking that mommy doesn't like me, mom doesn't want me to be happy. And she's wondering, so if I don't go there, who will make me smile? Who will make me happy? Who will make me, Irregardless whether the friends are good or bad, it's not her concern. Her concern is, why are you taking me from a place where I feel safe? And that is why they rebel. That is why they will sneak out in your absence, because friendship is so important. It's so important to them. All right. And so when you're teaching about bullying, imagine your daughter being in such an environment where she's feeling safe, a place where she loves these 6 girls, they are together. And then she's excluded from a birthday party. She's excluded from going for swimming. She's removed from a WhatsApp group. They are posting status and they understand what they're saying, but she can't understand. They are making fun in school of a movie they shared amongst themselves. Your daughter doesn't know that is bullying. That is exclusion, which can make your daughter lose herself. And you see, it's a bit difficult for her to come and tell you, mommy, so and so they removed me from the group, or so and so didn't tell me they were watching a movie or they were going for a date, or so for my classes I share very practical examples. There's this group of girls who are vaping in one of the international schools I'm not going to mention. So they were vaping and they decided to try a different vape, vanilla flavor, I think. Yeah, vanilla flavor. So they decided, let's change. So over the weekend, they changed all of them in their different homes. And I know you're the ones who are giving them money, right? But you didn't know what they were doing with it. So they changed the vape from, I don't know what they were using, to vanilla. So now on Monday, when they were in school, of course, they were talking about the experience. How is it? Can we transition? Which color did you get? Blah, blah, blah. And stories. And this girl didn't have a clue that, the click changed to vanilla vaping. So she felt lost. And then when she went home, she urgently asked the parent for money and she urgently requested, to go and buy sijui what in a what is it called, textbook center, okay, to get a book. Of course, by now their parents who really trust their kids to go out by themselves. You're 15, 16, 17, with proper guidance. And that's where she went and realized the vape was a bit more costly than what she wanted, and she stole from the stall. She stole a vape and she was caught, and the parents were told, and it became so messy. Imagine, just because the girl was not included when they were changing a vape. Is vaping good? Definitely no. All right. And so see how they are influencing each other. See how this girl was bullied to a corner until she's forcing issues. She wants to feel part of it. So you need to tell your daughter that exclusion is a form of bullying. And you need to make her aware that it is okay for people not to include you. It is okay if people allow you, don't bring you into their space. People don't bring you into their conversation. Though it can break them, though it can make them feel miserable, but information is so important. And that is why in my class, I don't fake things. Yes, I have my PowerPoint, but we have real conversations about what is happening. And if you're having this conversation with your daughter, give her examples of exclusion. Give her examples of how you are excluded, because then our daughters will look at us as we are superstars, like we have never made mistakes, like we don't face this challenging. Have you ever been bullied yourself, even at workplace? Because bullying is not only for adolescents or children. Bullying happens even in our workplaces, right? And it's only that we are aware, and so sometimes we don't give attention to it. We just, drop it, and we are able to recognize. And sometimes this is what we call toxic people, toxic department. That marketing department is just toxic. You understand? And so you need to be very, very subtle in when you are explaining bullying to your children. So it can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be verbal, but sometimes it becomes digital. All right, it becomes digital, where they are posting photos of themselves. Maybe they went out and they didn't include your daughter, and now they are flooding their Instagram with these cute pictures, and your daughter tries to comment, and the girl's comment reply to all other comments apart from your daughter's. And then it becomes repetitive. Your daughter will see her friends status and say like, oh, you look cute. No feedback. She does that to another. No feedback. Digital bullying. So it's not one-sided. It's not in one form. All right. So you need to be very, very intentional when you are explaining this. So talk about physical, which is a bit rare, but talk about pushing, talk about teasing, which is verbal, or name calling. if you follow me, there is an example one parent shared. I don't know if she is here, and she gave me her permission to share, on my Facebook, because I want you parent to understand how form of bullying. So this parent was away from the son, and the son was, they agreed, because we can't pray together, just write your prayer items every single day. And the boy would do that religiously every single day. And then imagine this teacher comes and finds the journal of this young man, and he sees the prayer items, and the teacher reads it loud in class, and the other boys start laughing at him, and then the boy stops writing, and then he comes again and makes such kind of funny comments, which makes our children very, very to resist. All right, talk about emotional bullying, manipulation. There is a girl who was manipulated by the house help. The house help had the girl talk with the boyfriend on phone. She was, I think, 16. And it was a kind of a romantic conversation. And the house help had. And so what the house help did, she kept on telling, no, I'll tell your dad, because she knew the dad was like the tough one. I'll tell your dad. If you don't want me to tell your dad, give me this X amount of money. And the girl stayed in that situation for almost 3 months. Now she's asking, her parents money for, and the parents don't understand. Why do you want money for? 500, 300, 100 bob, 1,000 bob. So the house help would, get money from this girl just because she overheard this girl have a conversation with the boyfriend that the girl didn't want the parents to know about. And that is manipulation. And the girl was walking in eggshells in her own home. Like, she can't trust when she's seeing the house help talking with the mom. She freaks out in her house, until one day the mom, found her crying, and she created that safe environment, until the girl told her, me I'm feeling so bad, because now the girl was kind of serving the house help. Like, she couldn't even tell the house help to do anything or to support her in anything. Instead, she's the one who was helping the house help. And that's also a form of bullying, because you can't look at bullying from one side. It happens everywhere. Even for some of us who are having relatives in our houses, your sister's son, your sister's daughter, they are living with you, they can also bully your daughter without your knowledge, and they can manipulate her. And we cannot overemphasize cyberbullying, because then kids are living in a world that we may not be able to clearly understand, because this is generation alpha. They are not even Gen Zs, unless she's over 20 or thereabout. Most of them are generation alpha, who are born during the age of technology, yeah, and digital, the digital space. So sometimes I look at parents who say, no, my daughter will get a phone when she's 18. I'm like, okay, is it fair? Is it right? Kids who are being born now, they'll not know how to function without artificial intelligence. And you will see it in the next like 15 years to come. And schools will have to adjust, to that. So then how do you identify signs of a child who is bullied? Parents, please, let's avoid putting all our children in one basket of adolescent. It's adolescent behavior. They are just trying to fit in. She has got from preteen. She's now a teenager, and that is where she doesn't understand what is happening. That is where she's moody, and we put them in that basket and we close the basket. However, their life is moving on just like your life. Just the way we can have, like for women who are here, we can have our periods. We are having emotions, and sometimes you are not well settled, you feel fatigued or tired, but we move on with life, right? So imagine your daughter is experiencing the changes, the adolescent changes that are happening. At the same time, she's facing real life challenges, friendship, feeling she's not being understood, not because she is an adolescent, but because she's a human being. So let's stop closing and putting our children in this one basket. Let's look at them as human beings. Quite a number of kids say, I don't want to go to this school, or there is this particular day they just don't want to go to school. There is that element of, yes, she's just a kid, she's tired, or she didn't sleep well, but also why? Why does she want to transfer from the school? Why does she want to go to another school? And it's not the time like to to put them down when they say, I want to transfer. Not at all. It's not the high time to say they want to transfer. Excuse me, they want to transfer, and then you try, no, Vumilia, no, stay in that school. I've spent a lot of money in that school. No, that's the best school in Kenya. You can't change it. What is happening? Can you ask what is happening in her life that she wants to change from a school that she once loved? Withdrawal. Sometimes we think that when your child is just quiet, she's just quiet and she has withdrawn from many activities. Oh, we think now she has changed. We talked to her last night and now she's a good girl. Probably it's a sign of bully, because there is a psychological impact when your child is bullied. When you see some of her becoming overly emotional, when you correct her, she's crying. When you kind of raise her voice naturally as a human being, she starts crying, or she freaks out, or she doesn't want to go with you in social events or activities. Her friends are changing. She no longer talks about Wangoi, who was her friend, or Tamara, who was a close friend. She doesn't talk about her anymore. I think it's time to ask, what is happening? Where is Tamara? You don't talk about Tamara so often. Where is she when her grades are going down? What is happening? It's not that she's not working hard. She's actually using the same routine. But what is happening in her life that the grades are going down? And you can see for sure she's not okay. Something is not going on well with her life. You ask her what is happening, and all the things that she says is, I'm okay, mom. And you can clearly see that she's not okay. All right, so I'm fine. How are you, Abigail? I'm fine. And you clearly see that she's not fine. Who told her that she can't speak up? And especially if your daughter was this good girl, was this open girl, was this girl who was very transparent, you were best of friends, but then she changed all of a sudden, or things changed all of a sudden. What happened to her? What happened that now she can't speak up? What happened that now she doesn't want to go to church? What happened that now she doesn't want to go to her friend's house the way she used to? What happened? And it's something that you need to be intentional to identify, because if you are identifying, then you speak it up. And how do you speak up? You don't go and tell her that, are you being bullied? I sense you're being bullied. Who is bullying you? You ask indirect questions. And these are some of the tricks that I use in my class, because parents keep on asking, Brenda, how did you get to know that information? How did you? And the other thing, you bring your daughters to my class, they expose you. They'll tell me anything, everything you did, everything, whatever you said when you left and you didn't tell her, when you came home drunk, when you went to church, they will tell me. And I tell parents that's okay, because then it means it's a safe space for your baby. You wouldn't want her to keep to keep things for herself, or to go and share with the wrong people. I shared in my last class of a parent who kept on complaining, about her daughter, and her daughter was really sick in terms of migraines or conversions. A girl was a high performer, started scoring very low grades, and the parents, were so scared of the health of this girl. She would converse so often in school. She was in boarding school. She was taken to psychiatrists, she was taken to neurologists, she was taken to for therapy. Still there was no change. And when this parent asked me, to about what she can do, because she didn't think I can help, I told her, actually, maybe it's a medical issue, but just bring her. Let me have a conversation with her. Let me talk to her. And when we were having conversation with her, I asked her this one question, of course, after a long, lengthy talk. Before conversion, what happens? What goes through your mind? What are the emotions? What are the thoughts? What do you think about? And we heard that. I tried to explain, and she told me an hour, 2 hours before she converses all the time, she'll think about her mom. And it's because during COVID, they were really fighting. The mom and the dad were really fighting physically. For a very long time, the dad was working out of the country, and the mom brought them up. So during COVID, of course, dad had to come home, and for the first time in a long time, they saw their parents together for a long time. So they used to be very physical, and sometimes the dad would leave the house, go, and then come back, and she saw it. So what she was doing, because she has other small siblings, she would grab two brothers and then lock them in a bedroom and put loud music, and they would dance because she was protecting the siblings from hearing what is happening. And she witnessed her mother being hurt so much by the dad in terms of physically. And so she told me before she converses, she starts to think about her mom. She starts to wondering if her mom is safe, if she'll find her mom alive, if she'll find her mom with another scar on her face, if she'll find. And that's something that she had never told even the neurologist, the therapist, the counselor, nobody, because it took like 1 year when the dad was going through that, where she had spent lump sum amount of money. But then when she told me this is what brought healing. Because then we identified it's not about what we tell our children. What do they see and how do they interpret the situation? And what happened is that I walked with her that journey of trying to make sense of the situation that happened in 2020 when they were at home. And midterm, because it was December holiday, midterm, January last year, midterm, the parent called me and she asked me, Brenda, what did you do to my daughter? This information I didn't give the parents because um for some reason, all right, because she told me not to and it wasn't important, and she gave the reason. So there's also that information I give parents, there's those information I don't. If you've given me your daughter to work with her, there's that information I'll share with you, there is what I will not share with you. So the parent asked me, Brenda, what did you do to my daughter? She's now she has improved. She used to score D pluses in public school, D pluses, and now she's at B in 2 months. The teachers are speaking so highly of her, and that's now the time I explained what really happened, which really broke the parent so much because they didn't have an idea and they didn't know that that's what's happening in the life of their children. So what am I trying to tell you, parent, is sometimes you'll be going normally with your life and your child is going normally with her life. When you're having a disagreement with your spouse in their presence, they will make sense out of it. And if you don't have a sit-in with them and tell them this is not about you, they will interpret that situation the best way they know, including my parents are arguing because of me. And so that's how they make sense out of it. And so they feel they don't belong. They feel they are not loved. They feel they are not taken care of. All right? Sometimes you'll make a comment as a parent, a genuine comment, and your child will take it so heavily on her. And you may never know. That's the sad part of it. And so this conversation, you need to have it with your daughter so that you understand what is happening. So if you realize there is a drift in friendship, ask questions like, where is Tamara? It's long since I heard you guys talk about Tamara. Where is she? What is she doing? If she's coming from school, ask her questions like, how was school today? Of course, good. Or it was bad if they were punished for one reason or another. Who made you happy today in school? That makes them to think, and actually it will be easy for you to ask, and who made you sad? What did they do? And that's how they open up. Instead of asking, how was school today? Oh, mommy, it was good. We hate this and this. Okay, fine. Of course, the conversation is done. Which teacher made you happy today? Which teacher was funny? What joke did you hear today? It makes them think, and you're like, oh, mom, I don't remember. There was no joke. And so you pick a conversation from that and you make it a habit. And then you start even allowing her to ask a question, mommy, who hurt you today? So it becomes an easy conversation, because when she asks you that, and maybe you had a difficult client and you tell her, no, you know what, Abigail, I had a difficult client today. They were supposed to pay me this amount of money and they haven't, and I'm feeling so bad. You are teaching her that the moment you leave the door, life is not so, it's not all rosy. You're also facing challenges, because the other interpretation is you have had a crazy busy day, tired as a parent. You come home, take shower, you minimal conversation because you are tired. So that's the time she wants a conversation, and then she sees you're not interested. How does she interpret it? My mom is not interested. She doesn't like listening to me. You see, she's on her phone. She doesn't even want to talk to me. It's okay. Then she retreats to her bedroom. How has she interpreted it? Totally wrong. You are just tired and you're not able. So the moment you come and you feel exhausted and you realize she wants a conversation, it's okay to tell Abigail, today I'm so exhausted. I've had to do double work because my colleague is on leave and I had to step in, so I'm feeling so tired. What are you doing? You are showing her that it's not all roses. And so if she finds a challenge, she knows in this home we share challenges. But sad bit is sometimes parents, we want them to share what is happening in their life. We want them to share their challenges, their pain, their struggles. But you are a super mom. You are a super dad. You don't face any challenge. You don't face any problem. Everything is okay with you. It's scientifically proven. If I want you to tell, if I need information from you as a parent, maybe Tabitha, I can see your name on my screen. Hi, Tabitha. For example, I want to know which country you're coming from. I want to know the work you do. I want to know how many kids you have. So I'll be like, hi Tabitha, my name is Brenda. I am in Nairobi County. I work with Smart Girl Academy empowering girls and I have 3 children. High chances are you will use the same format to introduce yourself. It's scientifically proven. So if you want information from your child, give it out. If you want to know the pain that she's going through, give it out. We are not superhuman. And they know that. But sometimes they are also like, mommy will judge me because mommy's teenage was extremely good. Mom didn't do any mistake. Mom didn't do anything. She didn't collide with my show. She was just okay. So even yourself, you can't feel comfortable sharing your struggles with someone who has had a perfect life. Right? So if you want your child to share their fears, their worries, share them. And when I say that, I'm not telling them that you are scammed 5 million, you share how you are scammed. No, there are those age appropriate struggles you can share, age appropriate conversations you can have your daughter, age appropriate struggles. Because now if you go and tell them, I have lost my job, now I don't have a job, they will still panicking. They'll start panicking. They'll start thinking, oh, where are we going to live? Where are we going to get food? So even if it's a loss of job, there is a way you can convey that information in a way that will make them feel safe, but also in a way that will show them life happens. Because then when they see you at your lowest, they will also see you at your highest. And you can make reference on that. So let's not conceal our struggles or our pain as parents. Let's open up to them and let's share what is happening in our world. So if you sense a form of, I was having a conversation with a parent who said that the son is saying that they just want to transfer. No reason. Mommy, I just don't like school. I don't want to stay there. But they're not giving a reason. And I told the parent, then have a different conversation with him. Ask him the type of school he needs in terms of food, in terms of teachers, in terms of friends, in terms of activities. That question in itself can give you so many reasons why he doesn't want to be in that school. So it's not about asking the child, so you want to move from that school to which one? Now tell me, why do you want to transfer? Sometimes they become a bit embarrassing because they may not tell you, I'm being bullied, or teacher so and so is looking at me badly. But if you ask them, give me characteristics of a school that you want, and they tell you, I want a school that has loving teachers who will listen to me, you'll be like, and then you can ask related questions in relation to this school, like, who was your best teacher in this other school? They'll tell you. And which teacher didn't you like? So you see, you are getting the same information you would have got by asking, why do you want to transfer? Okay, so you need to be very, very intentional in terms of how you're having conversation. It is not dramatic. It's not. And I always pride myself in saying that with the over 10,000 girls that I've worked with, I am yet to find a new story, a story that I'll be like, wow, hiyo ni kali, hiyo ni mbaya. I have never, apart from one that happened in April, where a girl told me that kids born or girls born through cesarean section are not loved, are not cared for, are not, they perform poorly, their parents don't love them. That was mind blowing to me. That was chaotic. That destabilized me. Because what? Who told them this information? And apparently, even in their school, teachers know girls who are born through CS, they are not loved and they perform poorly. I'm like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? And she was like, yeah, Teacher Brenda, you're the only one who doesn't know. Everybody knows about it, that kids who are born through CS are not loved. Actually, even God doesn't love them. Now, because this girl lost her mom when she was giving birth through CS. And she's like, that's why even my mom died, because you see, she just didn't like it. And even God said it, you go. So that was mind blowing to me. That really destabilized me. For a very long time, I had not had something new. And so now I can say there is that one. And surprisingly, after I shared that with parents, other parents started saying, yeah, even my kids feel the same. Even my kids ask me why I didn't, I allowed, why I didn't push harder, why I allowed myself to be cut. I mean, I think life is moving so fast. How are we going to catch up with all this information? And that is the world that we are in. All right. So when you want to get information about bullying, then be very subtle and be tactful in terms of the conversation you want to have with your child. And I cannot overemphasize the impact of bullying in the lives of our children. Your once vibrant, strong girl becomes laid back. Your once outspoken girl, she can now speak for herself. She's now withdrawn. She keeps things for herself. Her self esteem, you can really slowly by slowly, it's going down, you know. And we wouldn't want that for our children. But also, if your daughter is in that space, then you transition her. Let her get the information. Parents, I have seen how information helps girls. For example, an information that I give girls in my classes, and I'll do that even in my Fearless Girl program, I emphasize until it sinks, is that their brain is not fully developed. And I show a picture and explain about the brain development. And maybe some of you will say, oh, that's a lot of information. No, no, no. These are the same girls who are opening TikTok account without your help. These are the same girls who are putting passwords that you can't crack yourself. These are the same children who are getting over the parental control you've put in your phone, and you think your girl is doing everything nice, and she put another app that will counter the app that you put in a phone for parental control. So they understand there is no information that is difficult for them. So I tell them that their brain, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that is responsible for rationalization, responsible for making decision making, impulse control, is the last that develops in the brain. And scientifically, it develops after 25. Or by the time you're 20, it develops when you get fully developed when you get to 25. So if you're 18, 19, 20, 15, 14, your brain is not fully developed. And so they will make mistakes. Your daughter will make mistakes, not because she wants, but because she's just not fully developed. Just the way you would see a toddler making their first steps and we all celebrate. In that process, if they break a glass, we don't punish because they are learning. But when our teenagers make mistakes, we shout, we reprimand, we punish. And there's nothing wrong with punishment. But are you thinking that first this girl is developing? That whereas you're thinking that she needs to be home by 5 p.m., she thinks she needs to spend time with friends. So when you come and shout and you become angry, she actually cannot see a reason why you are shouting. And that is why they're like, they ask you, Mommy, why are you shouting? Because according to her, there's no problem. And that is okay. It's her brain. According to her brain, her reasoning, her thinking capacity, there is no wrong. So you're the one who is dramatic. And they tell me, mom is very dramatic. But you see, you are looking at her from the experience of 40 years if you're 40, or 50 years if you're 50, or 38 years. So imagine you, 38 years old, Esther, you're looking at your daughter, 15 years old, and you expect her to do and to think similar to what you're thinking. 39 and 14. There is a parent who told me, because sometimes you make me really laugh in a good way, like literally laughing because it's funny. And she was telling me she was so frustrated. She called me, Brenna, I'm so frustrated. My daughter hates her sibling who is 4 years old. Like, she can't feed her, she can't put sweat on her when I'm not around, she can't watch over her. She laughs when she's crying, she laughs when she's hurt. What is wrong with her? Why is she not responsible? And I asked her, how old is your daughter? 8 years old. Is that not a child? Is that not a child? Where do we draw the line between teaching your child responsibility and looking at her as a child? For example, you find your kid playing outside when it's raining and you are so mad, you are so annoyed. Why not tell her, the next time it rains, get into the house? It is not common sense. And my mom, my mom, and that's a phrase I can't forget, and it triggers me because when I was young, my mom kept on saying, use common sense. And I couldn't understand what she was saying. What is common sense? And she was like, Brenda, some things are just common sense. I'm like, I couldn't ask her, but I'm wondering, what's common sense? Could you also be using some jargons your children and your daughters cannot really understand in terms of what are you saying? What is common sense? How do I make sense out of that? And so instead of communicating, you're making your child to be more confused. Parents, it's the high time we become more intentional in giving our children the right information. And when I say the right information, let them know who they are, the state they are in. Tell them sometimes they'll make a mistake and make it a safe space for them. But if previously you didn't treat them well when they made a mistake, chances are you might have lost them because they don't want to frustrate you. That's why they lie. Other parents will complain that my girl keeps on lying, even the things, even the things that are so obvious. She will lie until you think that you are the liar. She will lie until you question your sanity as a parent. She will lie until you're like, okay, maybe I overthought. And she's lying. Okay. Why is she lying? Are you a safe space? Because they can't lie to someone who is a safe space. Will not judge them. But also, it can be. It came from school. In institutions nowadays, lying is celebrated and being honest and truthful is punished. Let me give you an example. If your child came and you found your television broken and she says that she's the one who broke it, chances are you will shout, you will condemn, you will rebuke, you will punish. But if she lies, she gets away with it. So we are punishing truthful girls, we are punishing girls who are honest, and rewarding who are dishonest. So if they didn't do something, they get away with it. But if they did a mistake, they'll be punished. So what, humanly speaking, nobody likes pain. Nobody likes to be punished. No one wants to do something that is tiring in the name of you're being punished. So they try to avoid the punishment. So they're not really lying, but they just don't want the punishment that comes with being honest. You understand? Parents, it's a lot. As I said, I just wanted to share what was in my mind, what is in my heart, and that was it. So unfortunately, I'm feeling so bad that I can't see your chat and they are not enabled. I don't know why, but I wish I could get some few response. If you can, please sign up your daughter for the Fearless Girl program. We are beginning next week on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It will be happening at night, 7:30 to 9 p.m. every single day. Please bring your daughters to this class. And I'll keep on shouting about it because some information we learn in this class will not be taught in school. You will not go and Google bullying on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram and get the information you get. Not real, not realistic. Of course, you'll be told 5 points and 6 points. Some will make sense, some will not make sense. Bring your children to this class. It's for age 14 to 17. 6,500 per child every single day. We do it via Zoom. All right. Bring your daughter to this class. There is a parent here whose girl is the good one, the obedient, the kind, outspoken, all the good things. That parent you can say that my daughter is good, she's open, I love her, there is that parent who say that you are the more reason you need to bring your girl to this class. Because what happens is that we assume that our kids are okay until something strikes them and they're not able to balance the equation. A girl committed suicide, a third year student, beginning of this year. She was taking medicine, a very hardworking girl. You can imagine a girl who is taking medicine. She's finding time to do some side hustles, which were giving her around 20,000 per month. And now she got a boyfriend and she was in first year. And this boyfriend was just the easy one, coming from a very humble background. So the girl would do her side hustles, online writing sometimes, other times she was selling some jewelries, and she would pay rent for this boy first year and second year and third year. Then the worst happened. That year, the boy told the girl, I'm not interested with you. I don't like you. In any case, I was just using you because they had started being physical. I was just, I was just using you. And the girl could not understand. Like she didn't understand. And she was so much in pain. And she reached out to me via Facebook. I didn't know her. She didn't tell me the institution where she was because she was trying to hide. And I worked with her. I shared some contact for therapy so she can go for therapy. But I worked with her for like a month or so. And she had introduced me to her friend, only for one day to get a message, a WhatsApp message from a friend, and she told me so and so had committed suicide. This girlfriend didn't know what was happening in her life. And I asked her to give me or what, everything that happened. And she said she had stopped eating, she was not going to class, she just came so that she does exam, and then she went home and locked herself in her room, took a jiko, put makaa, and slept. And so she was found, peacefully in bed. But I knew what happened. I don't know the parent of this girl. I don't know where she comes from, And again, I wouldn't want to get so much into it because I didn't have the details. Now, this was a very brilliant girl, the girl who will be like the good girl. But one thing that's strict, and that was it. She couldn't handle that pain. She couldn't handle rejection. She had not faced that side of life. Another girl was, the school was a school prefect from the time that she was very young. Those outspoken leaders. Those girls were born leaders. Until one day, when they were having activities in their school, one boy told her, "Why do you think you're beautiful and you are not?" And that crushed the girl. That crushed. She dropped. She resigned from being the leader of their school. She resigned. She changed. She went for therapy. She couldn't talk to anybody. And it became so hard. And so, if parent, your daughter is the good one, the good, the obedient, the kind, please bring them to class. Because what we do in the class is we teach them the reality of life. What really happens in the real world? What are the challenges? How do you handle? But also in my classes, what girls do, they share their experiences. Like they write their stories. And that's why I say they write their stories about you. If Mary Nderitu, you bring your daughter, she'll be like, mom shouts a lot and I don't like it. How can I tell her not to shout? And that's a good thing for me as a teacher, for me as a coach, because if you let it out, it's half solved. So also girls get to understand the reality of what is happening in the world. So when girls share their experiences, others are like, oh, okay, so this actually happens. And girls tell me they also share with parents tell me girls share with them their experiences. Bring your daughter to this class starting next week. I hope parents you have got value from this conversation. If you're here and you are not in my WhatsApp group, please, the person you sent you the link, ask them to share with you the link for the WhatsApp group so that you join. That is where I share a lot of content. I share a lot of information about programs for girls. So ask them to also share with you the link for our WhatsApp group so that I have a community over 3,000 parents actually in different WhatsApp group. I have for teenagers, for preteens, different WhatsApp group combined. They are around 3,000. And I want you to be part of this community, all right? Because we are raising intentionally, we are raising Fearless Girl intentionally, and we are giving them the right information. I'm actually being told the group chat is okay. But again, it's coming from my inbox. So if you need this program, I'm not able to share I don't think it will come to the group. I'm so sorry. But you can save my number 0733 179 990 0733 179 990. Send me a WhatsApp if you need the program. It's 6,500. Beginning next week, I will share. If you're here, you can pay for your daughter and your friend's daughter or her friends. Please do it. It's for your good. It's for the good um of your daughter. So I want to say thank you. Is there anyone with a question? If you have a question, you can actually send direct to me. Or if you need more details about the program, you can send a message. It will come directly to me. Definitely, I'm going to fix this after my Zoom after this. As those who have come to the end of this class, I really, really appreciate you and I'm looking forward. There are other parents who have already paid for their daughters. Please bring your daughter. You'll not be alone. And I said I take a specific number so that I don't have an overcrowded class for maximum participation and so that I give our daughters attention. The other thing that I might not have mentioned, that if in our class I realize your daughter has asked a very sensitive question, like there are girls who come and say they are self-harming or they are suicidal and parents have no idea about it. So if I come across those messages, I definitely reach out to you as a parent so that we support your daughter. So there is that information that you will get and there's some information that you will not get, but I give a summary of how the class was, what are some of the questions that were being asked. So otherwise, thank you very much. I want to wish you all the best and I'm looking forward to seeing your daughter in class. My number is 0733 179 990. Send me a WhatsApp. I am quick to respond to WhatsApp than a call, but of course we can schedule a call if you need be. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here on a Saturday morning. I really, really appreciate and have a good Saturday and good weekend. Bye bye.